Hey guys, this is another video kind of documenting another day in kind of my journey. I'm on a journey now. I'm on a get to know Diana journey and I am doing this so that I have documentation for myself and you know, hopefully I'll be able to share these with people so that other people will be able to kind of take a look into my life and see what has helped me, and hopefully it will help them if that is where they want to be as well. First things first, I did just come back inside from eating dinner outside. So what I did was I cooked up a bunch of vegetables, and I decided that I was going to eat outside by my favorite tree. I did a short video on what I was doing and how I was feeling outside while I was doing it. I may or may not share that one. I don't know if I will or not. We'll just find out. So I did end up going outside and eating, and I feel that this will be very beneficial to a lot of people simply because you just sit in the quiet, right? And I feel like we don't do that enough, right? Like we really don't. And it was really nice, and I feel that people with anxiety will really be able to benefit probably the most from this, because you eventually learn to just sit and just be. And for a lot of people, that's like super hard, right? Because we're used to having like everything just shoved in our face all the time, right? And it it's just a really good experience. And I mean, I can try to explain it all I want, but it's really not going to be the equivalent as if you were to experience it for yourself. And I can explain a little bit of what I was doing. So if anybody just really wants to maybe try something new in their life, or just wants to try and see what they can do in their life, what changes, small changes, sometimes big changes, they can make in their life to really make a dramatic change. And I feel like this is probably one that is an easier one to do, that is still going to be super beneficial, right? So what I did then was I went outside, and I did not sit on a chair. I did not bring a blanket with me this time. I have brought blankets before. And I just sat on the ground, right? And I know there's some of you who are like, I'm old, sitting on the ground hurts, I don't want to do it, like that just sounds painful. And to that I say, that's the only reason why you're not going to do it, because you think it sounds painful. And if you focus on whatever pain you might be having while you're out there, then yeah, it's going to be a miserable experience for you, and you're going to hate it, and you're never going to do it again, right? But if you just stop, change your position if you have to, if it hurts, whatever you need to do, lay on the ground. I don't care. I don't know. I don't have your body. I don't know. But whatever you can manage to do it. If you can't manage yet to sit directly on the ground, there's no rules. I mean, you take a chair outside with you. There's no rules. There are no rules. Whatever you can manage to do it. Okay? I'm just telling you what I do in case there's somebody who, that sentence or that word or that action resonates with them. I'm going to share it 100% how I do it, because that's the best way I can explain the situation and what's going on. So, rule number 1, there are no rules. Do it however you want, right? If you know me, I say there are no rules quite a lot, and I still stand by that because the only rules we live by are the rules we allow ourselves to live by. And I like breaking rules, so that was a tangent. But anyway, so what I went out and did was I went outside and I sat on the ground, right? And again, you can bring a chair, you can bring a blanket, sorry, you can, any way that you can do this, you can do it. So I sat on the ground. And I ended up going outside when the sun was just coming down, right? So it's got like that nice orange haze to it. But I went outside and I sat down and I just watched nature and allowed myself to eat, right? I didn't have any thoughts necessarily. I didn't focus on anything in particular other than, what are the birds singing about? Who are they trying to get? Like, what are the deer doing over there? Like, those kind of things were what I was focusing on. Not necessarily, what do I have to do tomorrow? What am I going to do for the rest of the night? Nothing like that. Only nature focused, right? So I was focusing on things like that, and as you're thinking about things like this is really when your imagination starts coming in. So I would suggest that if anyone's got like writer's block, or they can't figure out what they want to paint or what they want to draw or what they want to do or anything like that, I would say if you are really struggling with that in particular, go out into nature, embrace it, look at it, enjoy it, soak it in, and then let it do its thing and let it inspire you. And if you just let your imagination do whatever it wants without any judgment of, well, that's stupid, none of that, just let it do its thing, and then it will come to you and bring you something awesome, right? So that's what I was doing outside, and I am mostly sharing this because I had some other ideas about my life in general, that maybe I need to work on making adjustments to. So as I have started this journey in my life, the first instance was, I want to lose this weight because I'm not healthy, and that's where it originally started, was my medication that I take, makes me gain a little weight, and it makes me have these other side effects, and I want to know how to counteract them in a way where I don't feel like my life is being diminished. And that was really the main focus of everything that I was trying to do. So the reason why I'm going over this right now is because there were other kind of ideas that came to me that will help me just make my life that much better. And a lot of it really is nature focused. So anyone who knows me when I was younger knows that I stinking don't like being outside, right? I don't like bugs, don't like birds, don't like anything that flies at me. Like, I mean, that's just how it was, right? So it was funny to me today when I was actually in the parking lot of one of the stores that I was at today, because I was taking like a little time for Diana Day, because actually a lot of my time is spent not focusing on me, and I don't get any alone time, right? So that's what I was going to do today, is just take some alone time, do my own thing, do things I like to do and just be in myself and not worry about anything else. And it was great. So this is the whole point of the day, right? Is for me to focus on myself and really get to a point where I'm like really comfortable, right? That's the whole point. So I found it really funny when I was at one of the stores in the parking lot, right? Because I said that before. And I actually noticed there was a large bumblebee in the parking lot on like the asphalt, right? And I normally wouldn't even pay any attention to this, right? But I do now. And what I saw was the bumblebee laying on the ground, and he had either knocked himself unconscious to, just out of balance, or he had broken his wing. I'm not entirely sure which one, but the struggle that I saw in him really affected me because he was just laying on the ground, and you can just see him frantically with his legs, just frantically trying to get himself up. And me in the past would have just been like, I don't like bees, so you got what you deserve. You know what I mean? I mean, but I just felt so awful for that bee just being so frantic and what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Oh my gosh. And that could be his last moments, and he's sitting there spending his last moments having a freak out, and I mean, that really resonated with me. So, but I knew I wasn't quite comfortable yet, like picking him up with my hand, because I still have that fear going on, right? Like I'm still afraid of that bee for whatever reason. I'm afraid of it. So I know I'm not comfortable enough to like let out my hand, pick him up and put him in the grass, right? But I did tell myself there are tools I can use to kind of bridge that gap with my fear. So what I ended up doing was I ended up grabbing something out of my car that was kind of longer, right? So I don't necessarily have to be nearly as close to the bee. So I'm kind of bridging that gap a little bit. And I did end up, kind of picking the bee, letting the bee pick himself up with this tool because his legs still work, right? He just can't roll over. So I ended up pushing the object kind of gently, kind of close to him so he could grab it. And then I ended up turning it over so he could be upright. And the calmness that came over myself, because I wasn't afraid of him anymore, right? And the calmness that came over him, knowing he was grounded and he was, he had his control back, was awesome. And probably one of the times I will never forget because, again, I used to be deathly afraid of bees, right? I mean, deathly afraid of bees. I would scream every time I heard a bee. And people who know me when I was younger knows that this is true. So I just wanted to share that in particular because that was a really powerful moment that hopefully I won't forget. And, I guess I just want to, in short, I just want to tell people, if you are in tune with yourself and you allow yourself to be in tune with nature and the universe around you, you are more fulfilled by everything. And I mean everything. And I know it sounds really dumb, like, Diana, it's just a bee. Like, but there gets to be a point when you understand yourself better, you start to understand other forms of life better. And that is something that I never thought I would get to. Um, we have this thought and this feeling that the outside needs to stay outside and my home is my home and nature is separated from me and nature's just in the way of humans and all these kind of thoughts, and it was actually really refreshing, and it actually broke my heart a little bit today when I saw that bee, but it was even more refreshing to hear myself tell myself, now you understand how it works. Now you understand everything is equal. And that is the most powerful thing from today. So if you are not sure of yourself, go to nature if you are not sure about basically anything in life, yourself, other people, where you're going in life, what you need to do, what your goals are, just go to nature and let it do its thing. Let it be a part of you like it's supposed to be. And once you do that, everything else will make more sense and everything else will fall in place. Right? You'll have this new sense of peace. Like me and the bee had that sense of peace. We didn't care. He could have been afraid of me. I was definitely afraid of him, but at that moment, none of us were afraid. We were just being, right? So, I don't know. I know that was a really long tangent, but I really wanted to share that story because it was like resonating with me. And I guess the whole point of that kind of long tangent is that I would not be at that place. I could not be at the current place. I like how it's be. I could not be at this current place without going into nature, without telling myself I'm going to eat outside and I'm going to enjoy my meal outside, without taking the proper precautions or proper steps of watching what I'm putting into my body, without saying, okay, I'm going to make sure that the food that I'm eating is making me feel better, not feel like garbage. Okay? And those are the things that are really resonating with me the most right now. It's just things like that. So, again, if you're not sure about anything, go be with yourself, go be with someone else, unless they're going to be a distraction, and just be.